Hi, my name is Tom Charlton. I am the Regional Director of EMS for U.S. Acute Care Solutions, and we provide emergency medical services for the Mercy Healthcare System. I'm the medical director of several different agencies in the area, and Larry asked me to put together a very quick video on some of the things that I'm doing to help with online education during the pandemic. Uh, Especially given that we're not able to get together. I'm used to training with my crews on a monthly basis and haven't been able to do that in person. So I've had to do some different things. So now I'm going to go through and show you guys some of the platforms that I've been using and what people's reception has been like. So this is one of the platforms that I've been using called Kahoot. I was actually told about this by a friend of mine who is the division chief of EMS in Claremont County for CJ Fed. And this is a really fun platform that allows you to do quizzes. And the thing I really like about it is you can make it interactive. So I'm going to actually show you guys now what this looks like. I'm using the free account, and we're going to go over this basics of 12 lead EKGs lecture that I put together. And so what you do is you go through and you can do virtual classrooms or self-paced learning. We typically use it to play a game if people are in a classroom. So you would click Teach. It's now going to pull open the various options. So now you've got player versus player one-to-one devices. That's the one that we use. You can restrict it to a friendly nickname generator. Honestly, we've had a lot of fun since it tends to be a single department that's getting the training done all at the same time. We tend to just allow whatever nicknames. I remember one time the guys wanted to harass one of the younger guys about having just started growing a mustache. And so somebody named themselves so-and-so's mustache and got a lot of laughs out of that. But this allows you to go through and have some fun with this and make it kind of into a competition. So we'll open that up. So what you do is you now have the website that you go to and you enter this PIN. Okay, so now I've logged in on my cell phone, so that way we can actually go through now and do the game. So click Start. Okay, 25 questions. Are you ready? So now it's going to come up with what rhythm something is. So you've got to look at this and know what you're looking at. So then on their cell phone device, they're able to put things in, and they get more points for the correct answer in the shortest period of time. So I'm just going to start hitting buttons. So I'm the only one playing, so I of course won, and I got 620 points for that. You then go through, and this is kind of similar, and you'll have a dashboard with who's doing the best. So there's some friendly competition that occurs between the guys on the crew. So click Next, and again, I'm just going to start hitting buttons, so the answers, of course, may not necessarily be correct. So we'll put... Okay. And so now, if anybody else had put in incorrect answers, it would show up there. And as the instructor, you're seeing this. So I just got some more points, but if somebody else had answered faster than me, their name would be up here and would bump me out of first place. And so you can create some fun banter in the room. Honestly, when teaching with some of my fire departments that have a friendly camaraderie, there was actually quite a bit of trash talking, and it made this 12 lead EKG lecture probably one of the best lectures that the guys said that they had that year, because they learned a lot by making this into a competition instead of us just putting 12 lead EKGs up on the screen and expecting them to retain anything that we were just telling them about. In this one, they actually had to look at the 12 lead EKG, figure out what was wrong with it, and then answer the question correctly. And you made it into a competition, which firefighters love. This really allowed them to retain the information and have fun and stay engaged at the same time. So obviously, the Kahoot game that I just showed you isn't great for distance learning in the same way, especially when you're using it the way I had used it, which was more of as a competition. Since they tend to be time-based, etc., you really can't compete all that easily. Another platform that I learned about was Socrata, and you'll see the website name down there. And this is a program, I actually ended up liking it so much that I purchased a professional subscription to it. But this allows you to actually break things out into different rooms and have different quizzes. So we're going to go over and look at the quizzes that I've got. So we're going to look at the same kind of thing as the Kahoot that I just showed you. This one, the thing I like about it is you're able to actually put bigger pictures, so we can actually click and see what the bigger picture is when they're looking at it. You still get the same things, but then also you get to put in what your discussion is on that point. So that way you can go through and kind of explain, this is the correct answer, here's why it's the correct answer, and this is why these things are incorrect. And the nice thing is that you can assign this to multiple different departments. So we're going to go back over here. I only have one room set up right now since I'm really only using for one department. But you'd be able to go through and actually split it up if you have the professional organization subscription, which is only $100 for the year. You can actually go through and put in multiple different departments. You could even put in Department 1, Shift 1, Department 1, Shift 2, Department 1, Shift 3, etc. And then just send people the link and they can go in and answer the quiz. So I've made this somewhat more interactive. As you can see here, you get the student name over here along with how far along they've gotten, and then what their answers to the various questions are. Now, in this particular one, I don't really care about what kind of answer they're getting, more that they're getting something interactive out of it. So the fact that some people may have missed more than others, I don't really care so much about. It's more that they've gotten through and done the actual quiz, and it's really not a quiz. It's more of a self-directed learning. But as you can see, sometimes people have gone through and actually taken the quiz multiple times, which is even better. It shows that they're trying to retain some of this information and trying to get through it so that they get better at it. So the way I integrate these various platforms into the lectures I give is by recording those videos and uploading them. So I use the screen capture app that I'm using right now. I put it into presentation mode. Now it shows up with the presentation as the thing we're looking at. And then when I do get to the end, so we'll go through and actually exit out of this and go to the end. Then what I do is I put in a slide that basically instructs them how to do this. So they have to go in here, enter the room number, etc., and just provide some background. Whenever I've done the Kahoots one, I've actually created my own QR code, which is one of those 3D barcodes that your smartphone can actually pick up, and put that up on the screen, and people can literally just take a snapshot of it with their phone, and that takes them directly to the login screen that they then put that Kahoot PIN number in on to actually enter in and be able to play the game. But I've found that being able to integrate both kind of a lecture session along with something that's interactive, especially something that's fun like the Kahoot game, really does provide that added oomph that you typically can't get with distance education. So the other thing that I've been using is YouTube, and the thing I like about YouTube is it's free. You do have the risk of potentially your IT department restricting access to YouTube, and so you've got to work through that. But at least the departments that I've been using YouTube with, they don't have those IT restrictions. And so what I actually have gone through is used my screen capture app that I'm using obviously right now, and bring up my PowerPoint, and then am able to record the PowerPoint with the voiceover. Then you can convert it into a video and upload it to YouTube. And one of the nice things about using this platform is you can put restrictions on things. And so I have all of my videos as unlisted, which means if you go up and you search for it in YouTube, you're not necessarily going to find it. You actually have to have the link in order to find it. So since we're in the middle of this pandemic, one of the things is we had a protocol come out, A113, Standards of Care during the COVID crisis. So we'll open that and actually look at the analytics. So what I can see is essentially that there have been 39 views, and actually somebody apparently liked it enough that they subscribed to me. But you can go through and see who's been viewing your video, when they've been viewing it. A lot of ours are actually coming from people's mobile devices, since obviously we're trying to restrict, in-person meetings, and so people are viewing it on their own cell phones, and you can kind of see where things come from. You can also, though, go in and take a look at the video. You can edit it if you want once you've uploaded it. You can even put comments, subtitles in. And allow other people to have access to it. But under the details, you can go in and you can talk about the description of things, what video quality you want, whether it's private, which means you're the only person who's ever going to be able to see that, public, which means if you type into YouTube, it'll be searchable, and then unlisted, which is what I've chosen because I really don't necessarily want everybody to be able to see my stuff and be able to put in comments, etc. So I've chosen to keep all of mine unlisted. So unless you get the link to this actual video that you see up here, you won't actually be able to find the video and look at it. So what I do is I basically will send the chief or the EMS educator the link to that video, and then they can do with it what they want. But you can also go through and put additional restrictions on it, etc. We'll go to more options, and it really does allow you to put all kinds of extra things onto a video that you just simply wouldn't be able to get with email. So those are the various techniques that I've been using to help do some distance education things that hopefully make it a little more interactive. Another option that you can do is you can, of course, always just do simply live lectures. And I use a couple different platforms to do that. I've also used these platforms to do meetings. I'm really not going to go into any detail on them, but Zoom I have found to be extremely stable. WebEx is another platform that is extremely stable. And I've had really good success with actually streaming with people around the world to be able to get some of these lectures done and to get them to the right audience. So hopefully some of the platforms I've shown you will be beneficial for you. Feel free to reach out to Larry, and he can get in touch with me if you have any questions. Thanks, and stay safe.